touching on the top prop bets in the NBA today. All right, so looking at the board for today, it isn't a fully populated board just yet. I am recording this video a little bit earlier than I typically do. It's going to be a busy day today. Got the Players Championship for golf, which is probably the biggest tournament in terms of PGA DFS. Best field that we get really all season. So going to be putting out a video for that today, so I'm excited to get into that. I'm going to get into that after this video. And so if I have time later tonight, I will come out with a second PrizePicks prop video once there are more bets available, specifically the fantasy sports props. Now, looking at the board, I would say we don't really have any locks. We have a few okay bets. NBA-wise, there's a couple that are like just interesting numbers. So we'll just go ahead and get into the board. We'll start with two NHL bets that are just good enough right now. And it's really just going to be staring at these first two. So we have the under for Josh here, 2.5 shots on goal. This is favored at minus 143 for the under. But the interesting part here is that the over is set at minus 118. So that means that we have the sports books really pulling in different expectations for this game. So this is a number that, either as the day develops, it's going to get better in terms of the under hitting. Like I could see again to minus 150, or we're going to see the numbers get closer together. Most likely just going to be a stay away for most people, but if they feel that they have an edge NHL-wise, maybe that's a bet that they can make, whether that be on DraftKings Sportsbook or, one of the sportsbooks or on PrizePicks. And then from there, we have Logan under 2.5 shots on goal. This is favored at minus 140, but the over is set at plus 108. So the under, that's really the best bet that we're getting NHL-wise today as it sits right now. So I kind of wanted to call this out before we get into like the specific NBA bets. Looking at this board, guys, like game expectation-wise, like nothing is really appealing. We have one game here, Pelicans versus Kings, 238. That's the highest scoring game that we have. And then the next is going to be 233. So we just have a bunch of lower scoring games. And they're all, I shouldn't say they're all, there's one kind of close game, and then the rest of them are like around 6 points or so. So just kind of interesting in that aspect that no truly appealing standout game that we would maybe want to stack or something like that. Okay, so pulling up the board for today, there is one really kind of decent bet that we're getting as it sits right now. We got CJ McCollum over 2.5 threes. Okay, but we can see only projected to get 2.75. So yes, we are favoring the over there slightly. Okay, projection wise, we also are seeing like really strong odds there. We can see here that yes, he does average over that. Might get slightly less minutes, which would suggest that the prop line should be a little bit lower. But we can see like for the most part, it is a bet that's going to be close. But given the fact that Vegas is favoring the over, we can see or we would maybe want to attack that. Let's go ahead and look at his game log. And we can see kind of the 3-ball attempts have been up a little bit recently, and he hasn't really been hitting them. So if he does have a good night shooting, especially against the Kings, I kind of expect that in what should be the highest scoring game on the slate. It makes sense why that's kind of the most favored bet on the day thus far. And then from there, like I don't dislike this one. KCP over 12.5 points rebound or points and assist. We can see he's projected to get 13.7. If we scroll down, we can see on the season, just everything suggests that he should be over this, especially if he's going to continue to get a little bit more run. A pretty decent bet that we're getting. At the same time, it does feel like we are maybe trying to force in these bets that we typically wouldn't make just because the board as it sits right now isn't perfect. I would say on paper, this one is looking like the best bet that we are getting. That's going to be for you guys to decide if you want to make that bet. From there, that's it in terms of really like strong standout over bets. So let's go ahead and check out some under bets. Now, Jimmy Butler's kind of the same situation as CJ McCollum, where yes, we get a strong number for the under, minus 138 for under 5.5 rebounds. We can see he's projected to get 5.12 rebounds. So not a big enough like bad projection for me to really say, oh, we need to go out of our way to hammer this bet. If this was the best bet as the day progresses, sure, we can make it. But at the same time, it does feel like we're forcing it a little bit. It doesn't feel like a bet that we need to go out of our way to lock and load. Like Dort last night was very much kind of we're going through the process and we kind of see that it was one in which the under was just kind of a standout bet. We don't have that tonight in terms of the under bets. Now, overwise, this is really the best one that we were getting, minus 119 for Bam, over 19.5 points, projected to get 21 points. Average sportsbook line has it a little bit higher as well. We can see just across the board is a bet that should be able to hit. All the metrics that we're looking at are suggesting that it should be able to hit. And like I said, like a very limited board as it sits right now. I will say the Jakob Poeltl points prop does seem a little bit low. Honestly, I would say this should probably be at 12.5, especially, Denver's not exactly a matchup in which I'm hating per se, just with how they've been running out, Pascal Siakam and Jakob Poeltl together, I feel like that will kind of negate the strong kind of defensive attention that we see with the bigs. And just for what it's worth, earlier on this season against Denver, 14 points. I'm very curious as to what his prop line will be today because kind of got bailed out 2 slates ago or 3 slates ago, whatever last slate Jakob Poeltl was in. I was thinking that we are going to get like another 30.5 fantasy points or 31.5, and they set it like 33.5. Too high to the point where we couldn't make that prop. So yeah, as it sits right now, I feel like we're really only getting those first 2 props that are really going to be strong ones. CJ McCollum over 2.5 3-pointers made. Not a sexy one by any means. Don't get me wrong there. Higher scoring game. We're hoping that he does, have around 8 3-ball attempts or 8 3-ball attempts and can make 3 of them. And then as it sits right now, KCP over 12.5 points and assists. Now I do want to call out one other thing here as well. I know the matchup is going to be difficult for Jamal Murray, 4 points, rebounds, and assists, but it just seems like this is too low for Jamal Murray, points, rebounds, and assists. And as it sits right now, I mean, it's minus 120 for the over there. So like definitely not a lock and load by any means. But to me, it just seems like a lower number. But that's all for today. Like I said, we have some okay bets, but nothing that we're like really excited to go out of our way to play today. So hopefully I'll have time to do an afternoon video. It'll be after the 3:15 Central Standard Time Occupy Fantasy live stream, most likely, or it'll be slightly before that. And if it's slightly before that, it would be a recording that I upload. And I probably will shoot for that and have that up at around 3 Central. So we'll see. That's just a busy day. I got 4 more videos to do today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give a like and subscribe. Let's have a good slate, guys. And as always, let's keep cashing.